Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny time red. Can't let that go down in my head, wargaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane. As always, I'm hanging out with Fox.
Howdy.
And of course, we've got Churchy.
How you going, guys?
Today, you are going to join us as we build our own wargame.
That's right. We are going to design our own war game. Top to bottom. Think of every little minute detail.
Yep.
And hopefully one day produce. And no, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Way too ahead of yourself.
Yeah, we're probably going to do nothing
We'll
with it.
play this with proxies if we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
But you've joined us in our cargo hold for those watching us on the YouTubes with their eyeballs.
Yeah.
Those using their earballs cannot see it, but we're in a cold, dank spaceship right now.
Dank indeed.
Maybe you can hear it, but if not, I don't know. The technology's not there yet. So
No, it's not.
I'm sorry.
It's not. But you can see it. So check out YouTube. Give us a sub while you're there.
Ambience to go with the environment.
Yes.
Background noises. I like it. Perfect.
Spaceship.
Churchy, clip that.
Spaceship. Spaceships like Pokemon where they just say their own name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spaceship. Spaceship. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we're going to start from the start, as Fox said, top to bottom. We're going. First thing I think of when it comes to building a war game is where is it going to be set? In what time period?
Sure.
Whether that's historical or fantastical.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good question. Preface, we've prepared nothing. We're actually creating a game.
We're doing this on the fly.
So
Yep.
If you're shouting at your screen ideas, please retcon any of our ideas. Slap it in the comments. Let us know on the Discord. So immediately when I think of theme, I think there's two main settings. Sorry, not theme. There's two main settings.
Yeah.
Sci-fi and fantasy.
Oh, of course.
And
There are historical as well.
Yes, that's true.
And historical can cover all kinds of different settings, I suppose.
You're right. That's the big three, actually. It is as represented as the other two, so that's fair.
But we want to know where our game's going to be set.
Yeah, I think I always want to go, let's do something that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Let's do something different and fresh. But the problem is you need something really abstract for people to be more immersed. It's actually harder to say this is set in our current day and age.
Yeah, 2022 Australia.
Because then anything you do in the game, you're like, well, that doesn't feel like something that would happen now. What about our own armed forces or whatever, you know? It's actually easier to be more immersed into a fantasy settings because it's so detached. So if we say they can shoot plasma out of their eyes with the magic of the dragons, bullets through the blood of dragons, people are just like, I mean, of course.
As if they couldn't.
That's the setting. That happens.
Yeah.
So
why are we even talking about this?
So I don't know. What are you feeling? I'm always more drawn to sci-fi. That's what we play more.
Yeah, it is what we play more. It's what's more represented out of our games.
Yeah.
Although, I suppose it's getting probably close to a 50-50 split. Oh, man, I'm so torn. I'm so torn. I'm thinking, I mean, if you're thinking sci-fi, I reckon we go sci-fi. We'll lock it in. I was like 50-50.
Sure.
You know, I was happy either way.
Yeah. I like sci-fi, not like you'd almost call it high sci-fi, where like everything's so technologically advanced. It's like thousands of years. It's like
40K sci-fi.
That's the one I don't want to hit.
Yeah.
I want to do like low sci-fi where like humanity's almost only just scrapped into the
So we're talking
cosmos.
like Halo-esque, 2500s. We're
Yeah.
talking 500 years in the future, not, 20,000 or
I'm going to say
30,000.
maybe like 200 years in the
200
future.
years,
So like
22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the game is now called.
Cool. We've got a name.
4 twos.
We are just kicking goals right now. 22-22.
Have you played 22-22? That's actually a terrible name. We'll think of something. Let us know in the comments. It's locked in.
Locked in.
Never mind. Don't let us know in the comments. You can't change our mind.
Have you played 22-22?
No, I'm playing 22-22.
No, I'm playing 22-2-2.
I'm playing 4 twos. 2 plus 2 is 4 twos.
I feel like the people that would call it 22-2-2 are just straight up like
Strange.
mentally insane.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't play against them.
No.
Or in the same store as them.
No, yeah, I'd cross the road to avoid them.
Like someone rocks up to you like, are you playing 2-2-2-2? You're just like, all right, I'm just going to cross the road for a second and hope when I come back you're not here.
Yeah.
For those listening, I left.
Yeah,
I've now returned. I crossed the road.
It's like a robot malfunction. So if there's a robot in the game, it's like you are now playing 2-2-2-2.
Oh, that must be the expansion. Yeah, so not in the too distant future. I imagine it's like not steampunk's not the word I'm looking for, but like ramshackled sci-fi. So like all the ships are pretty shitty.
Okay, like as if like people have like clustered them together themselves, or is there just no one have any money that they can afford upkeep kind of thing?
I reckon that there was this big boom for the space race, and they were all about making commercial spaceships. And then all those companies actually like super quickly became defunct somehow because people figured out they only needed to buy one spaceship and they could just inevitably like hand it down. And maintain it, and everyone like kind of knew how to. It became taught in schools and cultural thing about maintaining a spaceship, you know, just like you would learn how to fix your own car.
But I mean, these days people can't fix their own car.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that example. I was like, actually, I don't even know how to change my oil. So, but you know, you always got that. Well, you would if it was a spaceship and it meant you could go to space, surely.
Sure.
Instead of just like drive to Echuca for the weekend. It's a little bit cooler.
This is true. Okay, so is this our theme? Is this our theme of the?
Yeah, I guess we're dipping in there.
It's set. So we've selected our theme to be a sci-fi, and let's call it a how would you put it? I'm just trying to think of how we could sum this general sci-fi into more of a compact kind of, you know.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you call it? It's not like a commercialized space race. It's more of a what's that word for when like something you can use it in your home? It's not domestic, is it? No. What's the word for like everyone's like, oh, now there's a 3D printer in every house. It's a type of printer.
Consumer.
Yeah.
Consumer,
This is like a consumer sci-fi race.
Everyone has their own
space race. Yeah.
That's pretty nutty. Like when you think about it, like how big a spaceship would have to be useful, right?
Yeah.
Like it's bigger than your average car.
Well, I'm thinking of it as like you think of a boat. You know, there's tiny little tinnies.
Yeah, true.
That you can just whip out to the moon with.
70-foot yachts.
Exactly.
With 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. Yeah, okay.
So the ultra rich have their super nice, well maintained stuff, but people like us probably own a spaceship the size of a little bigger than a 2-car garage.
Okay, so yeah. Nice,
and
nice.
Is it, are there other like planets or colonies or something, or is it like all Earth centric?
Yeah, that's a good question. Are we still in our solar system? Is this kind of like the Expanse where, you know, we've colonized Mars, they've got asteroid belt colonies, or are we going interstellar? Is that the word? Is that, or am I just thinking of Matthew McConaughey again?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean,
I'm looking up Interstellar as we speak, and all that's coming up is Matthew McConaughey's
It is Interstellar.
Jeez,
famous
quote.
quotes.
Without a shirt on.
Oh, mate. Was Interstellar a true story is like the top question.
No.
Yes, it happened in 2014.
Based on fact.
Yeah, it looks good in anything.
I'm also getting slight Firefly vibes.
Oh, yeah.
That near future kind of.
Excuse me.
I haven't seen it,
Spaceship.
but I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect that it exists. Yeah. Yes. I think... So another thing when you're making a game is you got to think... You want other people playing this, right?
Yep.
Ideally, you want to make it your business. You want to sell copies of this game. So I feel like even though we're not doing that, a little bit of that is going to play in my mind
Yep.
of making this game successful. And this,
Of course, it's got to be appealing to other people. That's not just us three.
yeah. So I feel like to do that,
Yeah.
something that makes it interesting is variance among factions. So you almost need some sort of alien races, robotics, all that kind of stuff.
Otherwise, it comes down to nationalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think Infinity has a lot of humans.
Yep.
But if you're like, oh, you know, there's at least one race of it. So you only need to introduce one other alien race.
Yeah.
Maybe two if you're
Yeah.
feeling it. Or it could all be from the same planet. One's like ferals and one's like the actual civilization that live there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And then you could also introduce like robots.
Robots. Oh, of course.
Robots.
Robots have to be featured.
Yeah, if we can make
Got
spaceships,
some
we can
kind
make
of like
robots.
AI that have, you know, become, maybe they've been declared like sentient.
Yep.
So now they are, you know, they're recognized as a people.
Yeah.
You know?
But we're also terrified of them, so we
Of
keep
course,
them as
'cause
like
they're made out of fucking titanium.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
punch you like a hole in your head.
you're gone.
Exactly.
You want space travel? Boom, you're on the moon now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, what are we calling our theme?
Yeah, I don't know. You would call it I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah.
It is. It's set close to home, right?
Yeah.
Where, yeah.
I was just gonna say, well, what does the player get up to? Like, what are the?
Yeah. Well, that's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's probably should be considered in the
'Cause that
theme.
might
Like, what's the
define the
point
theme
of the
of the-
game?
Yeah.
No point having a game without point.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I
true.
already thought of some like
Get-
plot threads for the for the robots and aliens and stuff.
Oh.
Perfect.
Well, what are you thinking?
Well, so
This might help us develop.
That'll help our point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so and this can also sort of apply to why some things are run down.
Yep.
To humans. And
Good.
that. So
Yep.
basically, the aliens came to our solar system or whatever planet it's based on. They brought the tech that then allowed consumer level space travel because
Yep.
they brought all this new tech, and they kind of whether the circumstances are they're refugees or they just came to help us.
Yep.
Whatever those
Getting
circumstances end up
District
being.
9.
Yep.
And
Is that
then-
the
yeah,
Yeah, you're getting District 9 vibes.
Yeah.
The refugee sector.
And
But
that kind of ties into your sort of rundown
Yeah.
sort of state of the planet.
Yeah.
You know, like
so,
it's
so
yeah.
that could be why as well a lot of the tech is run down.
Yep.
People are just maintaining stuff because they don't really
they can't
have
they can't
a
make
lot
it.
of- they don't have a lot of
Yeah.
understanding about how to.
Yep.
Maybe some of it got mass produced.
Yep.
Well, like with the consumer stuff, maybe some of it was mass produced or something when the aliens were friendly. Like maybe they
Yeah.
arrived initially being friendly, and
Yeah.
there was lots of mass production of all this cool tech.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then there was like some breakdowns in political ties and everything,
Sure.
and then now they're refusing to like maintain stuff properly. So now it's just human scrappers and stuff. Just kind of
Because they got shafted by Amazon.
I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I got it to I'm just tying off some threads in what you were saying.
Yeah.
So the aliens landed here, pseudo District 9.
Yep.
Like a big colony ship.
Colony ship. Yeah. Yep.
And they stranded here. We took them. We fed them.
Yep.
We set up a little District 9-esque thing for them.
Hopefully slightly better condition.
They were treated much better.
They're eating better than cat
fucking
food.
prawns.
Are you from South Africa?
Such a
I'm
good
from
movie.
South Africa.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. So they land here. We treat them well.
Yeah.
They were pretty integrated into our society. They were noticeable, and they'd go to other countries and sort of see,
Yep.
and we'd talk, and they were involved in the UN, all this kind of crap.
So like tourism was encouraged for them and stuff like that. Like
we kept close tabs on them, but we let them around.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And just while and then finally because they're like, we got this beacon going off. Our friends are going to come.
Yeah.
You take care of us.
Yep.
Leave us alive, and then when our
Yeah.
friends get here,
That-
we won't take over your planet.
Yeah.
And we treated them really well. We became good friends with them. And then when their people came back and took them, they said, look, we won't forget this. We owe you. Came back years later with a massive colony ship of basically these massive crates
Yep.
of these build instructions, real
Yep.
simple,
Yep.
and a fusion core for each person. They built their own spaceship. And they said the only rule is you're not allowed to limit who does and doesn't have access to these ships.
Okay, so they are for humanity.
They're for humanity.
Not just for Google and Apple.
Yep. And we exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And so that's why even the most rich people don't have, like, they'd sent everyone the same sort of designs.
Yeah.
And since then, they stopped maintaining them because they're like, this is once off. We don't owe you anything again now.
Communist vibes here.
Well, it's like, yeah. And they're like, here you go. Here's everything we're going to give you.
Yep.
Our debt is paid. We'll see you later.
Yeah. See you in the cosmos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be it for trade or war, our debt to you is paid.
Yeah.
And so that's why they don't maintain them anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least it's harder for humans to maintain.
And humans haven't been able to figure out how to reverse engineer them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can make parts of it, but they can't do it as well.
Yeah.
Efficiently.
Maybe there's some kind of material that isn't present on Earth,
Yeah.
or something like that. Like there's some kind of alloy or something.
And that's perfect because then that's why people are constantly like maintaining and salvaging and stuff because they need to get that material.
Yeah.
Because there's only a limited amount of it.
Yeah.
In what they've already got.
Yeah. And maybe this is what people fight over now.
Yeah.
Is if I beat you and take your ship from you.
Yeah.
Like maybe the ships became rarer, obviously, as time passed. We couldn't recreate them.
Crash them, and they get written off.
Exactly.
Yep.
And people pillage the allies and put it on.
So it ties in well with the boats idea. Like, when you've got a small crew on one.
Yep.
Larger crews that have managed to have their big cruiser.
Yeah.
Or yacht,
or a fleet. There's a couple of them.
Yeah. And so maybe the game is set around these groups. People decided, you know what, it's actually better if we form a faction.
Yep.
Where an alliance between a group of us that we go on these big treks together.
Yep.
We take 5 or 6 of our ships. We go and we collect from the stars, from the cosmos, whatever, this alloy, because the aliens sort of told us how to mine it, extract it, but we got to go there, get it, come back, and then we upgrade our own ships.
Yep.
And so maybe from that, these core factions of hundreds and thousands of people and big fleets are born, and maybe that's who you play as, one of these fleets.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, I think for our theme right now, are we going for a fleet combat kind of game? Are we controlling ships in the tabletop? Because this still is a tabletop game.
Yeah, this is a tabletop game.
Fantastic lore. I'm loving this already.
Yeah.
But it is a tabletop game.
It is
Are we controlling fleets of ships or even singular ships? Or are we controlling some sort of scale models of survivors or bandits or whichever faction you might decide to pick? And are we doing on-table battles?
I think personally, I'm drawn to the on-table battles a little bit more than the
So you want to
spaceship.
control your crew, not such your fleet.
I feel like there's an option for both.
I feel like there really is.
tie in both.
I think both would lend themselves really well. I think if you were to start a company with this lore, you would make 2 separate games.
Yep. Set in the same
Have the
universe.
fleet scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal
And
crew
you would-
scale skirmish type thing.
Absolutely. And you would tie them together in a campaign, where you do maybe a fleet battle, then a few, because your fleets fight and then land on the ground and continue the fighting over the alloy or whatever it is that we're after. But I think let's start, because we know it better, let's start with a boots on the ground
Skirmish
game.
Yep.
sized game. Nice.
Now, I also had a lore thread.
Yeah.
It has evolved slightly now. Too.
Excellent.
go,
Good.
For the
Good.
AI,
Good.
For the AI idea.
Yep.
So the aliens that initially came, there was a faction within them that were focused around science and stuff.
Yep.
And this particular species hadn't really developed AI too much, but they, obviously had robotics and everything, and they were attempting to develop AI.
Sure.
Then there was a faction of scientists on Earth, we'll just say our planet,
Yep.
that was coming along quite nicely.
Yep.
So then the aliens teamed up with the humans.
Yep.
Then managed to create this AI. That
Yeah.
was like the first of this new species, which was the AI species.
Yep.
And then basically over the generation or whatever, or however much the time scale is between when the aliens first came and they first had their interactions with humans to where we are now, where everyone's gone and gone into fleets and stuff.
Yep.
Basically, these AIs, a big portion of them kind of split off and made their own faction. Because
Sure.
they were like, we're sentient, we're our own race, you've given us this. And the original scientists and human and of the aliens pushed for them to have this, to be like, look, you are sentient, you're your own race.
Yeah.
You need to be your own people.
You deserve the same rights as humans.
Exactly.
I like to imagine this happens now. So in our timeline, 2022,
Yep.
the colony ship lands tomorrow.
Yep.
And all of this unfolds in the next 50 years. With the big social justice movement that's happening, I feel like I could totally see that happening for
it would
AI.
fit right in.
Yeah.
We'd be like, okay,
your
we're
people.
there.
So then with the AI faction, you've also got like, so you've got the Super Z, like you've got the main group that are just like, yep, we're our own independent nation, blah, blah, blah. Then you've got like the Zealots, which counteract, I was thinking there was two other factions, which is the Zealots and the basically kind of human sympathizers, sort of, where where they're AIs that still remain with people.
Yeah,
so they're like, maybe there's some that just literally inhabit a ship and are the ship, sort of thing.
Sure,
things like that.
So they still have that mentality. They're like, we were built to serve humans. We will continue to do that. That's
exactly.
our greater function.
You have those guys, which then allows you to have like a Zealot faction of AIs that are like, no, you cannot. Helping humans in any way. You've just got the main nation.
Oh, imagine the civil war between those two factions alone. That would be brutal.
That's cool too, because it gives law. Like, you always want to have a reason where, if in a game, if a faction's fighting a faction, you want it to make sense. So you could totally have your AI robot faction versus another one and be like, well, we're sympathizers and so are you, but also there's a bug landed on my microphone. You guys probably heard it. It was sort of like, this is all shit ideas.
Should be set in a bug world.
Should be set in a bug world. Where's the bug overlord?
Well, then you can just have the super ominous, like the Zerg or the
the Tyranids.
You can have that
generic alien bug,
alien threat from beyond the stars off in the distance.
The ever-hungering alien presence that
That's
just
what
consumes.
that bug wants.
Yeah, exactly. Too bad. That's overdone. Overdone, overcooked.
Well, all right. So we've got our point of the system, the game, which is to collect exotic resources to produce alien tech.
Yes.
All right. That's to sum it up, in one sentence.
Yes.
That's that. So following on that, do you think now's a good time to jot down our factions?
Yeah, perfect.
Can we start with 4 factions, do you think?
Well, we've already got 2
we've got
AI.
main factions and then probably sub-factions, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like those 2 factions that Churchy mentioned, the Zealots and the human sympathizing AI, deserve to be fully fledged.
Absolutely.
Races. Yeah.
Because you could they can look, they could look exactly the same or completely different.
Well, it can be also where, as far as looking different, that's where you can have them like, they've diversified over time.
Yeah.
You have the Zealots that like brand themselves and manufacture themselves to appear a certain way. And then same with like the other ones as well. So the sympathizers or there's just the neutral nature, the nation one, which
you could almost have the Zealots.
Spell sympathizers.
I mean, who's spell checking you? Just scribble.
Just added letters until it looks good.
I feel like the Zealots would want to create their own AI, like their own robots, because there's no higher honor than breaking any ties of humanity you have. So being built by a robot is how it should be. There's the originals.
They could almost go in a robotic religious function there. Like it's like that, that robot that was built by robots could almost be like a divine sort of being, like a divine, like
the omniscient,
in a way, But I'm digging it.
And so they look different to the sympathizers, who are the ones that were built by humans.
You could have a cool tie-in with like the lore I talked about earlier of like the first AI. Maybe they worship the first.
And
like
the first sentient.
The first sentient AI. And maybe they're long gone, or maybe they're lurking in the shadows or something. You know what I mean? But,
all right, so we've got our AI Zealots and our AI human sympathizers, 2 good AI factions, which, I mean, one could be probably considered a sub-faction, but I like them being 2 main.
Well, if they're the 2 main AI ones, the third one, which is like the nation, they can kind of just be in the background. Like they can be kind of like, you're not necessarily going to interact with them too much because they're just a massive nation of super powerful AIs that are just kind of doing their own thing in the background. And not really getting involved in the not super powerful, but like they're not really going to get involved in the direct conflict with humans because they're just kind of doing their own thing, whereas the Zealots and the human sympathizers will get involved with humans because by their very nature, the conflict.
And we've definitely got a human faction.
I think you probably just make like if you wanted to keep it small to start with, you'd have 3 or 4 human factions.
Yeah.
And you would just make them like maybe the 3. They're the 3 biggest factions.
Yep.
That there are, maybe part of the law, because you almost don't want to be like, well, America's going to be a faction.
Yeah.
You want to get away from that.
Get away from
existence.
Nationalities.
Yeah,
I think,
and even corporations. So, and maybe that's part of the alien agreement. When they came down, they said, hey, not only can you not, you have to give these ships to your civilians.
Yep.
1 in every 10 civilians at random, perfectly random.
Yeah, yep.
But you also cannot use these ships for national or corporate greed or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the loophole in that is that these factions can be as big as they like, as long as they're technically not tied to a corporation.
Yep.
And so we can call those whatever we want, but they'd just be like 3 generic human factions.
I think we'll lock it in to say 3 human factions.
You can have them focused on different tenets, sort of like.
Yeah. You could have ones that are all about trying to get these aliens to come back because when they were here, the world was a better place.
Yeah.
And you can have
they
other
boomed.
ones.
Yeah.
And you can have xenophobic ones where it's like, we don't want these aliens,
Yeah.
humans are humans. And you could go anyway.
I like the idea of like, so these aliens, they're gone. No one knows where they are, what they're doing, right? They're the ones that brought the tech.
Yeah.
So, I like the idea of like, because the factions are all walking this fine line of like, oh, we're a nation, we're a corporation, whatever we are. There's that rumor mill of like, well, the aliens are going to come back and destroy us all. And
Yeah.
And that could be like another thread in the game, kind of. Or the law, at least.
And you know what? You gave me a good idea. Maybe the aliens are represented in the game not as the larger alien, not invaders, visitors, but rather the aliens that chose to stay on Earth.
The scientists and that?
Yeah. So aliens that said, we're going to stay and we want to live here and be embedded in this society and report back, things to our greater civilization or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have the same, that means they've got the same tech and everything, and they fit within our theme because all these factions are from Earth.
So we can have an alien remnant faction. So the aliens that decided to stay.
Yeah. And they can be called the remnants.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that you use that word.
You could also, if you want another faction, you could also have another alien species that were also enlightened by the more ancient species.
Yep. That's very cool. That could be a
that's an expansion.
Yeah.
The enlightened. I like that. Yeah.
So, okay.
6 factions, right?
We're up to 6 factions.
Great.
Yeah, that's a solid game to start with.
Ones? Because we need to define them a bit more, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's
really
the ones you said.
Well, human faction-wise, I mean, these are just my initial thoughts. I don't know how we can tie this in, but
I'll make it work.
the first 3 things that come to mind is one faction that's super focused on trying to gather the resource and manufacture and do economy stuff like that. One faction that's very much like kind of like tribal but scavenger-like as well. Like they've become very we will fight and take what we need.
So they've succumbed to piracy in a way, like a pirate faction.
Like
Pirates.
Yep. They're just like we'll scavenge and raid and whatever.
Yep.
And then another faction that was, although this one's sort of it's pretty. They're all kind of generic, but this one's just like very military oriented, kind of like military law, martial law type thing of like do what but that's sort of the most boring maybe. Like, I would sub that one out. So the first 2 you mentioned can tie in perfectly with the law that we've got. So the first one that's all about the economy and getting
industrial sort of faction.
Exactly.
Could tie in well with what you mentioned, which is the race that's like, no, we're not like sort of borderline anti-xeno, or xenophobic.
Yeah.
Where they're like, the human race is the race. We need to quickly catch up to the aliens as quick as we can before they come back.
So they're working on their own tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we've got some very, very limited human tech that can. It's not quite competing with the aliens.
They're trying to reverse engineer it and gather stuff. Yeah.
And that ties in well for the scavenging tribal one to be opposed to them. Because they're like, we will just take what we want.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're just gonna steal from you guys.
Yep.
They just want to be the biggest faction and the most well-known faction, and they realize the best way to do that is to become, infamous.
Yeah.
They feel like they're the Ned Kellys of the they're the Wild West of this crew. They're like, piracy is the quickest and easiest way for us to gather resources because we just go after other smaller factions
and they have
after they've already gathered. Yeah, exactly. They love it because there's no rules in space.
Exactly.
I mean, just placeholder titles, but you got the tribals and you got the industrialists. Like
Yep.
the builders or something.
Yep.
And I like another faction to be like a medical one. So
they're wanting to use this tech to try and cure diseases and better humanity.
Yeah. Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And corporation, they're not allowed to be part of corporations and make money off corps, but they found that a loophole in that is medical facilities can pay them a lot of money and not be counted as a conglomerate.
Yeah.
So potentially cool idea here, because the Remnants faction sounds pretty small and this one doesn't sound quite as dominant. Maybe they're a combo, like maybe the scientist remnants of the aliens.
Yeah.
And this ties well with them kind of doing something more passive.
Yeah.
They're sort of like, so maybe these humans joined up over time with the remnants of the scientist aliens.
Yeah.
So then they're,
Yep.
whatever their title is, that combines the remnants and this other group.
Yeah. I do like that because, I mean, I reckon you can, in the lore-wise, they're conjoined.
Yeah.
And tabletop, you can bring them both in this one faction.
In a joint faction, or you play them
separately.
Yeah. But it's still got 6 factions in total.
But I like that the remnants have said, look, there is medicinal options out there for your people, but we will not give you the playbook for that.
Yep.
We will come with you and join with you to tell you what you need to bring, then we'll make it. And there's reasons for that. But if you are truly for the greater good, you'll do that for your people and stay blind to it.
I also, I mean, this is just another thought, but I feel like the remnants, maybe they shouldn't be in touch with the aliens anymore. Like maybe part of their decision to stay.
They stay, but then they're cut off.
Yeah, we're now, exactly. We're now cut off, and we
of course.
Brewski time. I'd love another one. The lore is flowing.
This is such a great thought exercise. I love doing this shit.
This is so good. But so I love that idea of them being like cut off because they've made the conscious decision. We are staying. We still think, and that kind of ties in perfectly with the whole idea of like, we teamed up with the humans and we created this new race of sentient AI.
Yeah.
So much we can learn from them. Let's stay and learn together. And,
maybe the aliens, with all their tech being so advanced, maybe they hadn't figured out AI.
And
maybe like humans have in a way created life that we cannot.
And in return,
that was the story thread from earlier. So that was the idea I talked about earlier, where they've both species have kind of fiddled with the concept of AI, but not quite been able to figure it out. The humans were further along than these aliens. So then the aliens were like, well, here's the tech we have. We'll share it with you. You share what you've got. And of course the humans are like, well, of course, because you've given us all this other tech. So then they teamed up. And this was like back at the beginning. So then that's how the sentient AIs come about.
I like the idea that we've done the same thing as well in the medical field. So like maybe there was things they brought to us and they were able to save millions of lives, and those remnants got hooked on the ability to help this other species, this other sentient species. But in return, we gave them the ability, we showed them how we look at DNA or something, and they're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, which is great too. I love that idea of the remnants being like, so the main faction of these super powerful aliens was sort of just seeing the idea of like, all right, we're just, enlightening other alien races and stuff. But these remnants were like, we can actually team up with these races. This race has something to offer us.
We don't just have to lift them up and then leave. We can stay and work together.
We don't have to repay a debt. We can be a cohesive unit.
All right, that's all awesome.
It's fleshed out.
We could be talking about factions for hours.
This is good lore.
So let's keep the ball rolling. We'll pin that. Next up, we've got, what scale are we playing this game in? Are we going to go stock standard 28mm?
Yeah, you know what I really like, because it's skirmish. It's tough, right? Because 28 mil
Yeah.
is the standard.
Yeah, it is.
So the terrain, everything is built for 28 mil.
Yeah.
However, I really like 32 mil.
Yes.
I saw some Conquest minis the other day, which I believe they're actually bigger. Mini size, and size of all your terrain and stuff.
Yeah.
This bug has a lot of ships. I mean, what?
Ships.
This ship has a lot of bugs.
A bug conspiracy.
Yeah, someone left the ventilation shaft open.
Who's that?
I don't know. Yeah, so, and I saw them, and I think they're actually way more. I think 32 mil is actually Games Workshop scale.
Oh yeah, it is. It's the current scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it when you're doing skirmish games to have that because
Yeah.
it's just like easier to paint.
Yeah.
You're focused on few models, so why not have them bigger?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
With 50% of all terrain, maybe more. With more than 50% of all terrain being 3D printed, scale isn't like a limitation.
It's not. You're not. It's like absolutely. If you've got the STLs, you can just change the scale.
Scale it up.
Yeah.
So maybe 32 mil.
You think of 32 mil?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've been looking at
I like that idea.
I've been looking around, and I was looking on Sarissa Precision, and they've got new 40 mil scale stuff. Which
Wow.
I believe is for Marvel
Crisis Protocol. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was like, okay, and some I think maybe Dead Man's Hand or another Wild Wild West one
Sure.
is the same, and I was like, oh,
I reckon that's
40
close.
mil.
Yeah, I reckon that's closer to Conquest. I reckon they're 36 or 38
Yeah,
mil
I
or whatever.
reckon.
Yeah.
They'd probably nearly fit in that 40 mil scale, but I mean, 32 is still a good solid scale. Doesn't look too off to 28 mil.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
whatever you have got, it can work.
Yeah. Or your sci-fi terrain will work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 32 is just, I mean,
Nice sweet spot.
it is. Yeah.
I think so too.
You can use all your Games Workshop kits that you've inevitably got because it's wargaming.
And they're great for everything.
Yeah, especially especially whatever we're playing.
Especially 22.
Oh no, we gotta change the name. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Name wise, that'll take longer.
Prawns.
But yeah, the prawns.
Yeah.
I think 32. You happy with 32?
I'm happy with 32. In the same breath as talking about scale, we're going to follow suit and measure everything in inches, or, hear me out,
Yeah,
some may call this heresy,
sure.
centimeters.
Oh,
I was watching Mini Wargaming try to play Battlefleet Gothic, which actually uses centimeters.
Yep.
And they're like, 9 centimeters, it's going to be like way over there. I'm like, Americans don't know the metric system.
No, they don't.
Americans or Canadian?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's kind of like Australians and Tasmanians, they're kind of the same.
My friend. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Tasmanian.
That's exactly correct. That's accurate.
But no, none of our listeners are from Tasmania.
We have Canadian listeners, though.
We do,
Actually,
and
a bevy of them.
American
Yeah.
listeners, yeah.
So we apologise for your inferior way of measuring things.
Yes.
But, I mean, are you serious?
I mean, the imperial system's pretty stupid. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't mind it in like measuring like larger distances, like in feet.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, I think I watch a lot of American sports, so yeah, I use yards all the time.
Yeah,
Although, admittedly, we have a weird mix in Australia.
Oh, we're terrible.
We're like half and half of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, that's about 3 foot.
Yeah.
Another bloke goes, it's about a metre.
Yeah. Yeah. Which would be correct. 3 foot is 0.9 of a meter. Yeah. Yeah, we are strange. Not as strange as some European countries that literally use both. So that's their Fahrenheit, their miles, but their everything else is grams and and kilograms and Anyways, that's not what this is about.
Are we going inches?
You know what we're doing? We're doing the thing I love most about that's not a thing that I enjoy about Star Wars Legion. Is there is no measurement.
Oh, you're going measuring sticks.
I'm going measuring tools, a singular measuring tool, and I'm going. You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm hearing you. But I'm like, you sticking those 4 things together in Legion, and you're waving that thing around.
Like a lightsaber. But you know what you're saying? What you just did then is what everyone with a tape measure looks like.
That's true. It's like, how far can I get this to go before it snaps?
Before it goes.
About 10 foot.
Waving your 4 sticks around as opposed to a tape measure.
Tape measure. Being like, all right.
Yeah. What's 72 inches?
Oh, there it goes.
Well, you know what I like? I like this plays into our game a little bit.
Yeah.
But short, medium, and long range weapons.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
Yep.
nice.
Long range weapons can just hit on the map.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
anything
need
on the
to-
map.
yeah.
You don't need to measure. That's
Yep.
fine. Yeah. It's like a sniper rifle.
Exactly.
And you're playing in a map that's, in theory, maybe in real scale,
Yeah.
maybe 100 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like you could hit that with a 22.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, totally.
You've got a 50 cal rifle.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think then you would just have 2 measuring sticks.
Yep. Short and medium.
Short and medium
Yep.
for like your shotguns or
Yep.
whatever, and then your pistols.
Yep.
And so you've got those almost like templates, right?
Yeah.
As you did in a lot of other games, you have your set of templates off to the side.
Yeah.
For this, you've got your medium range, short range, and then your movement tool. That's like
Yep.
I guess Kill Team's Hobby Homie's measuring tool style.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got a few different sizes on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
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 And they are maybe coloured or symboled like Kill
One
Team.
thing-
It does
One
keep
thing-
it quite simple.
Yeah. One thing I like about one-page rules is everything moves 6 inches unless it has either fast or slow keyword.
Yeah.
In which case it moves either 2 inches more or 2 inches less.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you can implement something like that.
Generic,
Everything moves,
yep.
a standard 5 inches or something.
Everything moves the grey edge.
One edge.
Yeah, the grey edge. Or if
Yep.
it's fast, it moves grey plus blue.
Yeah.
And then you turn it around or whatever,
Yep.
Definitely liking the simplicity.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you've got your basically 3 measuring tools.
Yep.
It gets rid of a little bit of nuance. You would argue, however, all games do.
Yeah.
All games have like your 18-inch gun, your 24-inch gun,
Yeah.
your 36-inch gun. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, you had all this room in between, and you chose to forego that
Yeah.
for these generic measurements anyway.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think measuring tools.
Measuring tools. All right, let's lock it in.
No.
So 30mm 2mm scale with using measuring tools. I like it.
And just because it's a skirmish game.
convinced me.
Oh, excellent. I twisted your arm. Oh my God, it's broken. You need to take this man to a hospital.
A super important question for you boys.
Yep.
Back to the factions
I
again.
think I already know.
It's back to the law.
But will it be model by model activation, like individual activation?
Absolutely.
Alternating
activation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Of course.
100%.
That was almost a
Guaranteed.
no need ask.
You didn't even write it down. It's
Yeah, because it was a given.
it was given. It was locked in.
I'll make a
Thought
note
so.
here though.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Do that.
alternate activations.
Under scale, we'll also add alternating activations because if a game doesn't have alternate activations, what's the point of playing it?
It's
right?
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's starting to sound like a game I don't want to play.
I want to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
got
better start
cool
3D
rules.
printing some minis for it. Dude.
Oh, well, my FDM printers sell look like garbage. What's this blob? That's, you know what? I don't know. To be honest.
That's your guy.
It's your guy. And this is my guy. Why do they look the same? I don't know, dude.
Next up, we got to figure out how we're going to balance this game.
Sure.
Right, because are we going to just collect 10 models each and throw them at each other? Or do we want to use a point system? Or, do we want to go to the range of granular
Yeah.
or an encompassing system?
I mean, I'm just always a fan of points.
Yeah, because you love
Yeah.
list building.
I do.
Yeah.
I do, but it just allows the balance, it's easy. And like the points wouldn't be printed on cards or anything
No,
like that. They'd be in a living document. So
Yeah.
you're like, the people said this is overpowered and
Yeah.
I don't have play testers, so I'll just
Let's
drop
just
it and see
drop
what they
2
said.
points off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say it's still overpowered. All right, I'll drop another 2 points. They say
Yep.
we nerfed it, we gave it the nerf bat, and then we'll close up shop and do something else because
Yep.
no one's showing us the love we deserve. Yeah, I think just like I do like what Games Workshop has tried to do. They've tried in 40k and Kill Team.
With power level?
They've tried power level, and
Yeah.
then with Kill Team, they're like, no, we're still trying to make it more simple.
Yeah.
But even casual players just often prefer to go to the points because
Yeah.
they still want a balanced game.
That's right. Like, unless you're playing a super narrative sort of style game, like Inquisitor, when points
Yeah.
don't matter,
Yeah.
then it's hard. But like, speaking of 5 parsecs,
Yep.
that doesn't use points.
Yeah.
When you play a game, you're rolling a dice to see what your opponent is.
Yeah.
Not only what they are as model wise, but also how many of them there are.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I've just rolled 8 vent crawlers.
Yeah.
It's like I basically take my models off the table now.
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
knackered.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm
I'm
done.
cooked.
Yeah. So
And
it's a 0 point system.
and it's that would be horrible for a PvP.
Yeah.
You know, it works in the narrative sense because if they get it wrong, right, and you get blown off the table because you rolled 8 vent crawlers, and you've got a team of 4, then you're like, oh, that sucks. But like part of the fun is trying to figure out how to recover from this. Do I now go and recruit? Do I whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But in a game where we play each other, if I had the 8 vent crawls and I just walked all over you, you'd be like,
I'm not playing anymore.
That's not fun. That wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So
I'll find someone else to play games with.
Vent crawlers. This wasn't my fault.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
a point system.
I think a nice granular point system.
Point system. Yeah, I reckon. You know what? I'm in the same. But I was actually thinking about that today quite a bit. How like a balance would work. Yeah. That wasn't granular point system. Yeah. You know, I just wanted to go that way, but it doesn't. Granular points.
Yeah. I think it can work if the game you're designing is quite bland.
Yeah.
Like if we said, you know, when you bring a faction, you bring 2 heavies, kill team style.
Yeah.
5 troops, 2 heavies, and a commander, and so does your other person.
Yeah.
And they're all quite balanced. Then you kind of feel like, oh well, where's the fun that I get to bring? Yeah. Like people like me who love the list building aspect, and there are 3 of us at least.
Yeah.
You know, they want to go, all right, but I really like this sniper, and I want 3 snipers. I want that to be my thing. I want to be the guy that brings some snipers and uses them really well. Yeah. And so, yeah, unless you use a granular system with like points, you just can't get that.
You can't make it work.
Yeah.
It should be more unique. And kind of have fun with the different themes. Like, I want to be just this type of troop and see what
I want to bring 30 troop options and against whatever and know that it's balanced. Like even for the person who you want to win, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to just roll over your opponent and them not have a good time. No. Because then you don't either. You're like, oh, my list won. I didn't. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, I think points.
Yeah. I like it. Coming under balancing, we also asked the question of competitive or narrative.
Yeah.
You know, so this could be a good blend of both.
Yeah, I think so.
I think any game you play, you are telling a story.
Yeah.
It's depending on whether unless you're playing chess.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You're not really telling a story there. But any kind of tabletop war game, in theory, you could turn that into a story. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, your faction is fighting my faction on, you know, whatever planet we're on or whatever kind of environment it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think if we go back to the Parsecs example we sort of talked about before. Yeah. I think if you design a good, balanced, competitive game, it makes doing the narrative stuff much easier. Yeah. Yeah. Because then you've got a reference point of what balance is. Mm-hmm. So then you can go, all right, at least now I know we can reenact this fight from this, or we can play out this scenario. And if you've got 200 points less because of this, narrative mission we've made, then I need to give the other person a 200-point handicap in some way. Yeah. Roughly, you've got that framework. Whereas if you make a narrative game like Parsecs, it then becomes very difficult to balance.
You can't balance it
and make it competitive.
Yeah.
So it's easier to go competitive, and then therefore narrative is easy. Yeah. As opposed to the other way around.
I guess it depends. Well, for me, like my personal 2 cents on it is like I prefer narrative games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends if you want the narrative aspect to be a core part of the experience.
Yeah.
Or if it's about the skirmish and the battle.
Yeah.
100%. Like it depends on what blend you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there are people that enjoy narrative campaigns that have a beginning, middle, end.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll lose, and that's part of the story.
Yeah.
But I would argue even then that's easier to do with balance, because you could go, oh, this person has a 20% point decrease.
Yeah.
And so they're going to lose probably.
Yeah, it's almost given.
Yeah. But at least it'll be a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that too comes into like, because you want a skirmish game, not an RPG.
Yes. Correct.
Point, even with skirmish games, like even if they're a narratively driven kind of skirmish game, it's like, well, it's still a skirmish game. It's not a full-blown RPG.
Yeah.
So where do you draw that line?
Yeah.
Actually, when we were talking about theme, RPG didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
It actually escaped completely.
Yeah.
RPGs.
Yeah. But you could make an RPG out of this.
You could.
Yeah, this lore writes itself. It's awesome.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've got the third game now.
Yeah.
We've got the the fleet battle war game.
Yep.
We've got the skirmish game.
Yep.
And we've got the RPG game.
Yeah.
You know what I like? We once upon a time tried to have a little, as we were mucking around in the studio.
Yep.
Churchy would run an RPG session for us that was just random. You know, it'd be great if we did that in this setting.
This universe, we would
Yeah.
absolutely
we should
do that.
But also, the problem with the last time was when I had heaps of hay fever.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Drunk as well.
Yeah. I don't mind the drunk aspect, but yeah, we'll do it when you're a bit more healthy.
I'm pretty good now, though.
Let's do it now. All right, so we're in a tavern. We're in a dusty cargo hold, covered in gnats. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
What was the question?
Love it. The
We've
competitive or narrative.
competitive.
And we've gone with competitive.
And narrative.
Which has narrative aspects to it, I think.
Balanced is the goal.
Yeah.
Balanced.
Yeah.
Balanced. Perfect.
Because this isn't the RPG part.
No, this is not.
No.
RPG game, no, that will be
Narrative.
not as balanced.
No.
More narrative.
Yep, correct.
I want to know, what is the core mechanic of the gameplay of this game going to be?
Yes.
Are we
I'm
going
touching
to
your foot
have... You did have
like
my
it's
foot.
going out of style. How many feet do you have? Jesus, two of them?
Two.
Far out, man.
They're
It's
everywhere.
excessive.
Now, when I think core mechanic, right, it's like dice, you know.
Okay.
For a war game, a core mechanic would be a dice roll.
Sure.
It's like you need a 3+ to do that, or you need a 6+ to do that. You know,
Sure.
really lucky. Like,
Give me-
you know,
Give me some examples. What would you say 40K's core mechanic is?
dice roll.
Oh, right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All
'Cause
right.
It's like anything you do requires a dice roll.
Sure.
Pretty much.
Sure.
Pretty much.
I see what you're saying. So,
A secondary mechanic would be like command points.
yes.
Or a card system.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard, like for me, like the reason I'm throwing this at you is because I can't think of anything else than a dice mechanic.
Yeah. So we're fighting. What
Yeah.
is the core mechanic that dictates that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be flipping coins, you know, but that only gives you a
Yeah.
50-50
Yeah,
odds.
which
You
is
have
the
cards,
perfect-
like
yeah.
Churchy said. Yeah, but yeah, it's like you know, I'm gonna shoot at you. I'll flip a coin. Is it heads or tails? I hit on heads.
Yeah. I hit on heads and I hit on tails.
There's a 50.1% chance of getting heads and a 49.9% chance of tails. I don't know.
Do you
Maybe.
have a
That's probably true.
dice roll that is then augmented or
Yeah. Then you
debilitated
start
by
adding
different cards,
modifiers,
Yeah.
like a card system for modifiers, you know, like, yeah, how do you do it? I could play a card, like a truck card, which for this one action gives you a negative modifier to your dice roll or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like it depends on how far you want to go.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah.
You know what? After playing a few games recently in the last year, I've sort of decided what kind of game I lean to anyways.
Yep.
And that's it's that easy to learn, hard to master style game.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think of Infinity, and I think, why don't I enjoy Infinity more than I do Star Wars Legion?
Yeah.
I actually like the models more in Infinity.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like the theme. I don't like the setting. Nothing's better than Star Wars, but I like everything about
True.
it. I like the competitive nature of it. I like how much you can do.
Yep.
So I'm like, why don't I enjoy this more than, say, Star Wars Legion?
Yeah.
And it's because it's so bloody heavy.
Okay.
There's so much going on. There's so many extra mechanics, which is great, but that means it's competing directly with 40K, which is also an extremely
I
heavy
was about
game.
to ask you, if you were to weigh those two games up, which one on the scales is going to tip 40K or Infinity?
I think 40K I prefer to play.
Yeah. Is that because
because
you know it though? You've played
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, 24 games of it.
Yep. It's more well supported.
Yeah.
It's more popular. It's everything about like the lore. If they were equally represented,
Yeah.
and it was like, hey, 50% of people play, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
I'd choose Infinity.
Yeah.
The only thing that ties
Okay.
it out is that I currently have 4 armies of 40K.
Yeah.
Everyone plays it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
tournaments for it all the time.
Yeah.
I've already got painted models, all that kind of stuff. I do for Infinity as well, but and I know it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. Otherwise, if it was just a 50-50 split in
Yeah.
a second, Infinity.
Yeah, nice.
Easily
Yeah,
skirmish, lower model count.
Yep.
Really
Ultimate
great.
activations.
No,
No.
it's you go, I go still.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's pseudo you go, I go. So it's like you get as many activations as you have units, but you can spend them all on one unit if you want.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I do remember that.
So, but the cool thing is it's got actions in your opponent's turn, which makes it feel a little bit more interactive.
Yeah.
No more than stratagems in 40k, I would argue. So,
yeah, fair.
So anyways, having said all that, I don't want to have, in my mind, trap cards. I don't want to have all this crap. I just want it to be a D20.
Yeah.
Let's get
D20 system.
Yeah. Let's get the nuance in the D20.
Yeah. I like the idea, and we've mentioned this before, but the D20 eliminates really the need for rerolls.
Yeah.
Because you've got that much more variation than a 6-sided dice.
Yep.
So core mechanic is a D20.
Yep.
Perfect.
Interesting. Well, my 2 cents on this now.
Yeah. It is Churchy.
So you want to keep it simple. You love the idea of it's easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
I would love the idea of and I do love the D20.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that before because that actually ties in with making it a little bit more narrative.
Yeah.
Yep. Use the same dice for the RPG version.
There you go. Boom.
Yep.
But so you have the 1-page core rules.
Yep.
With the D20 and cover and whatever and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then maybe you have a second. I mean, it's totally fine if this is missing the mark, but maybe a second rule page, which is you add in a card deck where each player, and it could be simple as you've only got 5 cards each or something.
Yep.
For the entire game, there's no randomization. You know what cards you've got. One is heroic moment. You get to do +2.
So all the players have the same cards?
Yeah, potentially. Or you can randomize it a
slight
little
deck
bit,
building element.
Slight deck building element.
Yep.
But maybe something and this is extra rules. This is the page 2 rules. Add a little bit more.
The only
narrative flair to it.
Yeah.
And add in these cards, which have maybe there's 10 possible cards. You get a deck of 5.
Yeah.
So there's that little bit of randomization, a little bit of deck building.
Yeah.
And you can play those at whatever time. They'll have different times you can play them or whatever.
Sure.
But then it's something like heroic shot or something +2 on this attack or whatever. Little things like that.
Yep.
That are very, very basic.
Yeah.
But add that tiny little bit of extra narrative flair potentially.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say
again, it might just be extraneous and not necessary.
Well, I think you can do the vibe you want, and that's representation of moments. I feel like you can do in the actual other mechanics, secondary mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
You could equip or give special rules to particular units that once per game can do this.
Yep.
The only problem I've found in rules where they go, hey, here's the basic rules and here's the advanced, is that everyone considers the advanced rules to be the game.
Okay.
Because there's no game currently that I know of where everyone plays the basic by default and then adds
You've
on.
activated my trap card.
Oh, have I?
1-page rules, Grimdark Future. I know everyone's probably going to think that they've given me some money under the table because
I'm not convinced they haven't.
About, but
yeah,
they haven't.
Yeah, but that's
if
because
they did.
I wouldn't say no. Is what I'm saying.
I'd be a shill.
Yeah,
I'd shill out straight away.
He's shilling already for free.
Yeah,
but yeah,
give them the milk away for free.
But actually, you raise a secondary point I kind of wanted to talk about, but we are running out of time. I've noticed on our old timer meter.
What are we on? I can't read from here. My eyes are terrible.
Yeah, 57 minutes. Your eyes are terrible.
30 tomorrow, but I can't read that.
You can't see me. Yeah.
You're just a beige blob.
At least you know it's beige.
I can see colours.
But yes, okay, 1-page rules, a game that nobody plays in an actual store.
Fair.
Uses that basic yeah. Because everyone considers they think about what they want to play at a store. What's the most common game I'm going to find an opponent for?
Yeah,
it's always the advanced version.
Infinity, full on version. Yeah,
because Infinity does have the two. It has Code 1, the basic rule set.
Mode, is that right?
They're all skirmish, but Code 1's just simplified rules.
More skirmish.
Yeah, streamlined.
Streamlined?
Yeah, streamlined.
Yeah.
And people just go, all right. Even people are like, well, they choose to play full Infinity at a lower points cost than play Code 1. Because they're like, oh, if I play in 2 hours, I'll play the full game for 2 hours.
I definitely think for me too, where that thinking came from was definitely from a narrative perspective.
Yeah.
Also, because, it's almost like a segue to the full RPG context. Because what I'm thinking is things moment of heroism or moment of it's little narrative.
It's narrative.
Very narrative.
Which you could bake in.
You've managed to do whatever. You've managed to take cover or help your friend or whatever it is. But then I also like the idea of these cards having like nice lore tidbits and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's
your narrative deck.
Yeah,
that when you play in
yeah.
a narrative campaign, you get a full deck, but you run it. You can use as many as you like during a game.
Yep.
But it's finite. So throughout the whole campaign, you eventually whittle down on this deck.
Yeah, I like that idea.
see,
I like that narrative deck.
Yeah. So, and the secondary
and then-
mechanics.
well, I mean,
We're running out of time, Churchy.
No more lore.
Yeah. We're not doing the campaign yet. That's episode 2. Yeah.
Any secondary mechanics that you can think of? We're not going cards. We're going to rule that out, or do you want to? Is that more of a narrative thing?
Yeah, let's say narrative.
Yeah.
Let's say if you're playing the tabletop game,
Yeah.
I really love you having a particular type of unit with all the rules on this printable card.
Yep.
I know that's just me going Star Wars Legion, but it's the best thing, like not having to flick through
so
codex.
Good. It is so good. Yeah. Yep.
So I like having all of that, and then I imagine on the tabletop, you're fighting over these alloys, you know, and I like the idea of having to go there and extract them.
Yep. Okay.
So maybe
you're spending like an action in
Yeah.
a way. So
Yep.
you get to your objective marker.
Yeah.
And you spend an action to set up a drill
Yep.
or
Yep.
get your pickaxe out and go Minecraft on that
Yeah.
shit.
I
Yep.
like having to bring certain equipment that cost points.
That's kind of cool.
So you have to actually, because this isn't just fighting over this resource and
If
these
you
planets.
win, you get it.
Yeah,
It's like, what
yeah.
can you get? And then maybe get back to your table edge or whatever that exact mission.
Because often these fights are just firefights to try and like control
Yep.
areas, but the longer you're there, someone else might show up. So it's not like, I've killed you, now I've got free reign over this planet.
No.
It's like I've set up my thing and I'm trying to.
They're landing.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, for those who play the pirate ship game Sea of Thieves, there's these events that happen and it's like you can't just go there, kill off the other ship that's there, and then you've got free reign over the event. It's get in, get what you can, get out safely, because there's ships rolling in. They see the big thing on the horizon. They're all coming in. It's like that.
It's like Rust with airdrops and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. All those games. Yeah.
All right. So there's another mechanic to the game is to bring in equipment which costs points.
Yes.
So you might give one portable drill to all of your dudes. But they're heavy, so they're slower. And they can't carry 2 firearms. They're going to carry maybe a sidearm or something like that.
And say you've got 2 actions that you can perform on a turn per unit. It takes both of those to set it up.
Set that drill up.
You got to be there for a whole nother turn.
Yeah.
For your next turn, you do nothing. And then the turn after that, you can escape. Or you spend more points on
go again.
A little buggy. That drives out there, can drill, spend both its points, but next turn it can drive back.
Really cool too, because that like automatically makes the other player think like, all right, these are high value targets. If I take out, this is our objective. If I manage to take out this unit that they're going to use to gather this resource, then I'm going to be far more likely to win. But now I can't get the resource.
But then on the same turn, it's like, oh, maybe I can get to that resource that hasn't been tapped yet. So
love it.
choose to leave your guys alone and let them keep drilling that little.
It's a base race.
Little node. And I'm like, I'll go get that rich node over there. Oh, there's so much. All right. Awesome.
But also something I wanted to go back to our core mechanic of D20s. I wanted it to. I was thinking sometimes the variants. How's that Uber driver going? How far away?
He is picking up our order now.
Oh, we got time.
His name is Anuj.
Anuj.
Yeah.
Anuj.
Nice
yeah. Give him 5 stars now.
I will give him 5 stars. Don't you?
I was thinking the biggest problem with D20s, and it's not a problem, but like it's the variance. So it's like 0 to 20. There's a wide gap.
There is a wide.
There's
gap.
a lot of numbers on the dice. It means you can get very unlucky and very lucky, as opposed to D6s where it's a little bit more leveled out. So something we could add if we found that was the case in playtesting is it's a 3 D20 system, and you take the middle result.
Oh.
So you can't take the highest, you can't take the lowest, but you always take the middle result, whatever it is. I don't know if that helps at all. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it actually doesn't make a difference. But it should mean better, right? It should
go through it again. Give me the logic again.
So like if I hit you, if I'm really terrible and I hit you on, let's say, a 15 up, I can't shoot for crap. I'm just a civilian. I got this gun yesterday. If I roll,
you know which way to point it.
If I roll a D20, like there's a lot of numbers on that dice. So the chances of me getting that, I don't know, probably 1 in 20, but or probably 50-50. But if I roll 3 and then pick the middle result and I have to take that middle result,
I think the neater way to counteract that, which is what you see in like lots of RPGs and
Yeah.
stuff, is you will have like in the context of a skirmish game, you'll
Yeah.
have like this unit gets +2 to their attack roll, or this
Yeah.
unit gets +4 or +5. Then you roll the 1d20
Yeah.
and add their attack roll to it.
Yeah, but
So-
the problem with I find with D20
Yeah.
is like a +1 on a D6 adds a lot.
Yeah.
But a
Yeah,
+3
it really
on a
does.
D20, if you roll a 2,
Yeah.
or a 3, or a 4, or a 5, or a 6, or a 7, it doesn't
When you
mean
need a
all of it
15,
means crap
it's
all.
not
You know?
much. Yeah.
But you're right. Maybe it is just figuring out those plus minuses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then that begs the question. Well, then why do you use the D20? Like, or do you just go back to a D6? and
Yeah,
it's
or a
plus one,
D10, or a D8, or a D12.
D10s are nice.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe the we'll play test.
We'll play test.
But I do
see,
like D20s.
D20
Yeah.
can be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it has so much variance.
Yeah.
But then that's the whole thing of like.
But you're-
so maybe in a narrative campaign, right?
Yeah.
This is just slightly narrative coming back in it, but maybe like each mission, your surviving troops get +1 to their attack.
Yeah.
So then they've done
Sure.
5
Sure.
missions,
That's
and then
campaign.
suddenly they're
Yeah.
It's like an
campaign.
experience in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
suddenly they've
But-
got +5 or +6 or +7 or +8 or
Yeah.
+9 to their attack, or
Yeah.
whatever it ends up
Yeah.
being.
But you're
So
right.
You're confident that
But
they're going to
that doesn't work in pickup games. If you're like,
Yeah.
I want to go play 22 with
Shane.
with some random
Yeah. With the
random
yeah.
bloke down at the shop.
Yeah, but no, Churchy's right. Why use-
Why you would just? Oh, sorry, but then maybe that's why you would just say, Shaz, like, all right, I'm versing you, you're versing me. We're playing with veterans.
Yes.
So veterans already have
Or had a +3.
10 to their
Oh,
plus
+10.
or
Oh,
+5.
quite
or whatever.
experienced.
Depending
Yeah.
on-
Yeah.
Well, we don't-
yeah.
It depends what the role is to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't need to do that, right? Because like you just mentioned the point why use D20s, it's because that nuance, right?
Yeah.
I can say these are crap, so they hit on 15 up. So the chance of them, I don't even know why I had this discussion. The chance is crap, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing +10 for veterans, you would just go, well, veterans hit on a 10 up.
Yeah,
50-50, you know?
Yeah.
So, I do like the D20.
Yeah.
I don't know where I threw myself off
Where
a
our
cliff.
brains went.
Yeah.
Yeah, decided to add more D20s. That's how much you like
Because
them.
I want to, yeah.
More D20.
You know what? One D20 isn't enough.
Yeah.
You were
It
like,
Let's
never
roll
will be.
3
What if
and
they
pick
rolled-
one.
Yeah.
what if they rolled 20 D20s?
I was trying to get an average, but you're
pick the
right.
middle one.
D20s.
Yeah, and pick the middle one.
No, yeah.
Why would you wanna pick
you
the middle
roll
one?
20 D20s.
Why would
add
you pick
them
the middle
all up,
one?
And then you.
The whole point is to roll and try and get a higher number. Why would you pick the middle one?
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off. We've never recorded past 55 minutes, so I don't know what to do with
this
myself.
This is unknown territory.
We're so excited about this game.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. All right.
Okay, what do we
Let's
got?
wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right. So our setting is a sci-fi setting. It's a close to home setting set in the year 2222.
Doesn't have to be, but yeah, sure.
Near enough, right?
Yeah.
A couple hundred years in the future. It's a skirmish theme with the options of RPG or fleet battles.
Yep. Or yep.
As potentially expansions or whatever.
Sure.
The point of the game is to collect exotic resources to produce alien technology.
Yep.
Or to repair alien technology.
Which we've
Either
tied
or.
into the actual tabletop game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
the main objective of these tabletop missions, right?
Yeah.
Factions, we've got AI zealots,
Yep.
AI human sympathizers, 3 human factions, which are the industrial, the pirate, and the medical.
Sure.
The industrial and trying to reverse engineer this alien technology, right?
Yep.
32mm scale with measuring tools, so no tape measures. Get them out of here.
Don't need them.
Yep. And alternating activations because
Of course, it's good.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to make a good game. Yeah.
The balancing system is a granular point system, and it's focused on competitive with the options of narrative campaigns.
Yep.
Core mechanic is a D20 with possibly a plus or minus system, which requires playtesting before we know.
Yep, sure.
Yep. And our secondary mechanic is a card system for the narrative side of games.
Yep.
And the option of bringing equipment,
Yes.
the requirement of bringing equipment
Yes.
to extract these resources.
Yes,
How
correct.
much you take is up to you.
Yeah, and I also like baking into that. You've got a map, right? And there are
We've got a
different
big old cake
map
mix here.
Yeah,
Let's just add more shit.
yeah, absolutely. It's a little salty. Let's add some sweetener.
Yeah,
You've got a map. This is to finish off. You've got a map.
Yep.
But it's
Wait,
not
before
just.
you finish off, did you mention the remnants under the medical faction?
Alien Remnants. I didn't. Alien Remnants.
You did. Yeah.
Excuse
But
me.
they're under the.
But you can just like draw a little love heart between them and medical, so we know.
Yeah.
So you got a map, but it also has
that.
different types of resources on it. Those that you have to drill with your drilling equipment.
Yep.
Those you can sort of like hand gather for an action.
Yep.
And they're all worth different points. And whoever has the most points worth of
Yep.
resources at the end wins, right? And that's it. That's it.
Perfect. Love it.
That's our game.
Love it.
Let us know what you think.
That's our game. Don't take it. That's our
Yeah,
game.
true. TM. This is patent pending. Let's not release this for a while. We need to work out the legalities.
Watch, like, Bell of Lost Souls release something tomorrow with this new sick game.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're talking about, like down to the deep detail.
They use the same words.
This has been so much fun. This is literally stuff we've come up with on the fly. I didn't even think about any kind of lore for the last couple of days. I thought about different kinds of scales and mechanics, stuff like that.
Yeah, we spent 40 minutes on lore. So
We spent most of our time on lore.
I don't even know how to play the game. No need.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it. I want to flesh it out rules-wise. And
Oh, yeah.
we didn't even think about what models we're going to use. You know,
No.
proxies, prints,
Yep.
whatever.
Let's get
But
some STLs made up.
we'll have a We'll have a follow-up, I reckon, on this.
Oh, yeah. We've got to try this.
We'll flesh out the lore a little bit more. Maybe we'll play test this game. Let us know what you think of the game.
Yeah.
In the description,
Comments.
in the Discord. Let us know if you have any feedback. If you think it sounds great, or if it sounds garbage. Let us know. We'd love to
If
hear
this
it.
is something that you would play, maybe one day you'll get your own rules.
Yeah, one page of them.
I'd like to follow this up and make
2-page
something
rules.
of it. 2-page rules.
Yeah, I would. I will follow this up, absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Check out hobbyhomies.com for links to all this stuff. I'm still dying. I'm nearly better.
No, you're not.
No, I'm worse.
The cold dead of space has been unkind to you.
It has been. It has been. Massive shout out to Burnsy, MJ, Lethal. Churchy's killing the
Save my changes from last time. Apologies,
Moose.
guys.
That's all right.
Penny, Gridlock, Battle Maps, Jack.
And we got Elko, Churchy, Black Screen, Red Rooster, Ollie, Marcus, Aggro, Foggy,
What the hell's going on?
Bravo 14, and Big Roach. Thank you all so much for your continued support. You allow us to make tabletop games on the fly.
Yep.
Is this not better content than Would You Rather? Let us know.
It has to be.
It has to
Yeah.
be.
Yep.
The lore in this episode has been sick.
Oh,
So
it's
good.
Nothing else.
We love it anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
Check us out. Every new episodes every Sunday.
Yep. Hooroo.
Peace.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains.